loudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night, but our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
At this time, I would like to invite Rabbi Moshe Wolf to the podium to give the invocation.
Good evening. Thanks to each and every one of you for being here this evening as we honor our brothers and sisters whose names are etched on the wall, whose lives were taken from them in the line of duty. They ran toward the danger while everybody else ran away from it. And if you put your ear close to the wall, you would hear them say, thank you to the brothers and sisters who go out every day running toward the danger while everybody else is running away from it. And thank you for keeping our city safe. So thank you to the officers. Let us pray. Dear God, we gather here this evening to honor, remember, to say thank you and to pray. We honor and remember our brothers and sisters who gave their lives in the line of duty. We thank you for these families who have shared their loved ones with us. We say a special prayer for our brothers and sisters presently on the streets and those overseas fighting for our freedom. Please, Lord, bring them home safely to the loved ones at the end of their duty, and let us say, Amen.
Please be seated. Good evening again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I am Sandra Wortham, the president of the Executive Board of the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation. It is truly my honor to welcome you to our 22nd Candlelight Vigil. Thank you to Officer Arturo Andeneghi and Rabbi Wolf for bringing us in to start the evening the right way. I would now like to introduce the members of the dais, starting on my far left, your far right, beginning with, as you've already heard from, our Chicago Police Chaplain, Rabbi Moshe Wolf. Yes, we can clap for each of them. We have time. Our Chicago Police Gold Star Families Chairwoman, Maria Marmolejo. And you all know our mayor of the city of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, and Superintendent of the Chicago Police Department, Larry Snell. So again, I am Sandra Wortham, the president of our executive board, and I always like to start the evening by just bringing us into why we're here today. Some of you are here for your 22nd Candlelight Vigil, and some of you are here for the first time. And for all of us here, I think it's important that we remember that tonight is about our fallen, and tonight is about our Gold Star families. Some of us in the law enforcement world, be it as family members or as members of law enforcement, I think become desensitized to the honor sometimes that is what the members of the Chicago Police Department do. Every single day, members of this department put their lives on the line, risk their lives to protect the residents and visitors of this city. And too often, as we will hear tonight, members of this department are taken from us in their service to this city. 607 names we will hear tonight. The 4 names that we will hear for the first time tonight span from 1922 to 2025. And so for the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation, there is probably no better exhibit of our promise to never forget. That it doesn't matter when our officers were taken in the line of duty or how they were taken in the line of duty, we honor our promise to their families and to their officers to never forget. I always say that in addition to my role on the board of the foundation, I am a Gold Star family member. And this is my 15th Candlelight Vigil since my brother was killed. And I can tell you, and I never like to speak for our other Gold Star families, but I think this is one thing I can say is one of the most important things to us as Gold Star families is that our officers are never forgotten. And this is such a sacred night because this is the one night a year we know for sure that our officers' names will be spoken aloud. And for the service they provided to this city, for the sacrifice that they suffered in their service to this city, and for what their families must live and journey through after their loss, it is the very least that we can do. And so in that vein, it is my honor to welcome to the podium Maria Marmolejo, the chairwoman of the Gold Star families.
Good evening. I'm so grateful and honored to stand here in front of all of you this evening at this Chicago Police Gold Star Family Memorial Park that has 607 Chicago police officer names etched in stone to honor each officer's dutiful sacrifice to the city of Chicago and represent the loss of each Gold Star member that has and continues to bear. Just a few years ago, I was given the opportunity to represent all of the families of Chicago's fallen heroes. And though I am honored, I am also reminded of my own personal loss that my children and I continue to move through day to day. My daughters, Rebecca, 22, Madeline, 16, and Sophia, 9, lost their father and my husband, police officer Eduardo Marmolejo, nearly 7 years ago, this December 17th. He and his partner, police officer Conrad Gary, were both struck and instantly killed by a Metro train while in pursuit of apprehending a shooter that was on the tracks in the 5th District. On that day, just a week before Christmas, 2 families lost a father, a husband, son, brother, and a friend. And through the waves of my family's loss, I've gained such a profound perspective of those who lost before me and those who will lose after me. In meeting all the Chicago Gold Star family members and all who support those members on a daily basis, I've made bonds with people who truly get it. I have made friends and connections with people that I simply never knew I needed, and they all know who they are. And I have greatly received heartfelt words of encouragement and help from people all over the city. I've had the honor in meeting some very resilient and empathetic spouses and children. I have been graced with the supportive, kind, and strong gestures of parents and siblings. And I'm grateful to have met so many helping hands of so many colleagues. So many Gold Star members who know all too well the emptiness they feel in a room full of people, because they too know how it feels to lose in such a similar way. We each had a family and a friend who is irreplaceable and is no longer with us. The CPD Gold Star families represents a supporting extended family that, along with the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation, have been here as a supportive helping hand in every turn. And their consistency and presence humbles my heart and of all who they assist. And I thank you all. Tonight is the annual Chicago Police Memorial Foundation's Candlelight Vigil that is an occasion that brings us all comfort as we gather and speak aloud each fallen hero's name, and hold each light up to honor the beautiful lives of our fallen officers. Let's remember, truly remember, that nobody truly dies until they are forgotten. So let's say their names and remind each other that death does not erase their entire life or the life we had with them. This vigil tonight precisely represents that. We will miss each of them always, and they will never be forgotten. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening, and God bless all those we honor tonight, and may God continue to keep you all safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium Mayor Brandon Johnson for a few remarks.
Thank you, Sandra. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to join you in remembrance of the Chicago Police Department members who gave their full measure of service in their commitment to serving and protecting our beloved city. I want to first thank and acknowledge the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation and all of the Gold Star families who uphold the memorial wall and the memory of our fallen heroes. I also want to thank the Chicago Police Department, its leadership, and particularly Superintendent Larry Snelling, and all of the members, the brave women and men who carry on the legacy of your fallen brothers and sisters by serving our city and its people. I hope that our time together today, spent in prayer, remembrance, and gratitude, is comfort, especially for the families and loved ones of our fallen officers. I believe that those who are gone are never truly gone if we continue to say their names and share their memories. Today, we permanently etch our fallen officers into the story of Chicago and ensure that they are never forgotten. Residents and visitors will forever know of our officers' dedication and bravery and selflessness as they pay their respects at the memorial wall. And generations of police officers can be inspired by their service. On behalf of the entire city, I would like to express my gratitude to the officers whose names we uplift today. I have no doubt that each of these officers made our community safer, more resilient, and thriving, that they created positive waves through our city. Scriptures tell us that those who walk uprightly enter into peace. These officers walk uprightly, having dedicated their time on earth to helping and protecting others, and they are now at peace. To all of our Gold Star families, know that our city continues to stand beside you, and my administration is here to support you. Today we are gathered with a common bond, not a bond of tragedy, but we are gathered together with a common sense of purpose because of the service and the life that your loved ones led. And to all of our Chicago Police Department, know that our entire city is deeply grateful for the work that you do, and that my administration is proud and grateful to partner with you on this mission to build the safest big city in America. And once again, I want to thank the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation for the ways that you continue to honor our city and ensure that we always remember the public servants who've gone on too soon. I pray that our city's police officers and first responders are safe in their steadfast work to protect and serve Chicago. Thank you all. May God bless you, and may peace be amongst the greatest city in the world, the city of Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Johnson. And now it is my honor to welcome to the podium our Superintendent, Superintendent Larry Snelling, for remarks.
Thank you, Sandra Wortham. Good evening. One more time. Good evening. All right, we want to make sure those 607 can hear us. First of all, thank you to Mayor Brandon Johnson. I want to acknowledge the Gold Star families. Your sacrifice has been amazing. I also want to thank the Police Memorial Foundation. Phil Klein, just give him a hand, 22 years of this. He makes sure that these heroes are not forgotten. Sandra Wortham, thank you. And Maureen Begain, thank you. Also want to thank Maria Marmolejo, always eloquent, and Rabbi Moshe Wolf. No jokes yet, but I expect maybe at the end. Let me start by saying 607 names. 607 people who have given their lives protecting this city. And today, we added one more. Our fallen hero, Krista Rivera. A magnificent woman, a magnificent human being, an outstanding officer. What this memorial wall represents and what these Gold Star family members represent is resilience. Now I'll tell you why that is. Our officers go out there every single day. They face danger, threats, harm, criticism, and of the worst kind. They see people on their worst days. They see death, catastrophic injuries, and they suffer mentally, physically. And then they get up and they come back and they do it all again. Now, why is that? It takes a special kind of human being to do this job. And Gold Star family members, the people that you gave and the sacrifice that you made are family members. These were great, great human beings who sacrificed for you. To the families, we stand with you and we always will, because we are close to this. The people that we lose in a line of duty are our family members also. So your pain, the suffering, we actually want to take some of that off your shoulders if we can. I want everybody to just take a look over your shoulders and look at this city. And I want every officer here and everyone who serves and all of the family members to understand one thing. When you look at this city and this beautiful city that we go out and protect every single night, just think about how special you are. Think about what you do for this city. Think about those people who are out there right now who are living in fear. And when they see you arrive, you bring them some sense of comfort. That's who you are. You're angels in blue uniforms. You're not often told that. As a matter of fact, you're oftentimes told that you're the devil. But that's the devil talking. Remember who you are. Remember how important you are. And remember what you do for this city. And every single day that you go out, you put this uniform on proudly. And you go and serve this city, putting your life on the line. Because when we see the 607 names up here, we know that every single day that we go out there, we could be adding another. But you don't fear that. Because you know your purpose. You know why you're here. You understand the importance of this job. Those 607 angels who we've lost represent something for every officer who is out on the street right now. They represent pride, hope, resilience, courage, strength, professionalism. This is how we keep our city safe. So make no mistakes about it. Not only do people need you, they want you. Because they know and understand how important you are. And this city knows and understands how important you are. And as long as I sit in this seat, I will continue to remind you of how important every one of you are. How important our Gold Star family members are. And your resilience gives our officers strength. Because you're living through times and unbearable pain. And you step up and you come out here and you support each other. And then you continue to support our officers. You are amazing. And for those who don't know, and I've said this before, to look in the face or the faces of family members and have to tell them that their loved one is no longer here. It's a gut-wrenching thing to do. To see the reactions. It's brutal. But if it's that brutal for the person who is delivering that message, how brutal must it be for the family members who are receiving it? That's why we stand with you. We want you to know that your family members will never be forgotten, that our family members will never be forgotten. So I want to thank everyone here tonight, shown up here to celebrate the lives of our officers, not to mourn, but to celebrate who they were, how great they were. And we will read their names loud and proud, because when we say we never forget, we have to mean it. So thank you to our Gold Star members. Thank you to our Gold Star families. Thank you to the Memorial Foundation. Thank you to all of our supporters and those who have shown up. Thank you to our newly hired recruits who are standing, holding those signs, symbolic of those that we've lost, with new officers stepping into their shoes. I'm proud to be a member of the Chicago Police Department and even prouder to lead. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the work that these officers do every single day. Remember how strong we are. Remember how important we are. and remember how vital we are to the safety of this city. Thank you for the work that you do, my Chicago police officers. And continue to be great, continue to shine, and continue to be the hope that this city needs. Thank you. Now, we're going to invite everyone to participate in a moment of reflection with a symbolic illumination of our pens before we read the names of the 607 fallen Chicago police officers. So please, at this time, let's illuminate your pens. We will now have a moment of silence. So now we will begin to call the roll of the 607 members who have given their lives to protect this city. I will start with the reading. James Quinn, Casper Lauer, John C. Churchwood, Niels L. Hansen, Patrick O'Meara, Christian Jacobs, S.W. MacArthur, Gilbert E. Reynolds, Albert Race, and James Keon.
Timothy Mahoney, Patrick M. O'Brien, Daniel Crawley, John Hubner, Clarence E. Wright, Patrick Muldhill, Cornelius Barrett, Michael W. Oakley, Matthias Deegan, George Miller.
John J. Barrett, Timothy Flavin, Michael Sheehan, Thomas Redden, Nels Hansen, Michael O'Brien, William A. Halloran, Philip L. Robinson, and John Keegan.
Adam W. Fryer, James McDowell, William F. Elfelt, Francis E. Williams, George Slinger, William H. Schnell, Casper H. Cole, John Powell Jr., Henry McDowell, Edward J. Carney.
John Dempsey, William Feely, Andrew Hosworth, George Crum, Edward Doodles, John Monahan, John L. Bloomberg, Patrick Fenton, Bernard A. Kubler, Bartholomew Kavanaugh.
Edward J. Wallner, Edward Leach, John F. McDermott, Timothy S. O'Connell, William F. Messinger, Patrick Duffy, Charles F. Pennell, Timothy T. Devine, Fred Heelman, Michael J. O'Rourke, Timothy Sullivan.
John Quinn, Joseph D. Driscoll, Dennis Fitzgerald, Michael Shaughnessy, James Keith, Richard F. Cummings, Patrick E. Blackwell, Patrick Reardon, John P. Shine, Jacob Sebastian.
Austin Woosley, Luke J. Fitzpatrick, Edward W. Smith, Robert McAney, Michael D. Callahan, William R. Mooney, John Kearney, William J. Russell, Henry Schnobel, John Wren.
Patrick Melia, Edward G. Shea, Jesse C. Gilman, Thomas E. Teague, Patrick Fogarty, Thomas Schwig, John O'Connell, Charles T. Jones, Peter M. Hart, Andrew Gartley, Stanley J. Burns, John Rowe.
George H. Trumbull, John J. Pendergast, Frank Daly, William J. Rosenstreeter, Austin L. Fitch, Thomas J. Mahoney, John B. Salzman, Thomas Colquitt, John P. Furlong, James F. Mitchell, Ludwig Scholar, John C. Burke.
Broyer A. Johnson, Stuart N. Dean, John N. Bialk, John F. Maher, John F. Kinney, Bruno H. Frederick, John L. Donner, Charles C. Larson, Peter R. Bulfin, Martin J. Corcoran, Joseph P. Tiernan, Joseph A. O'Connor, Joseph H. Urban, Michael McGough.
George Clausen, James F. Looney, Peter H. Ostler, Matthew J. Foley, John F. Schewitz, James L. Hosna, Robert M. Love, Henry A. Manlico, Cornelius Wilson, Richard J. Burke, John W. Simpson, and my great uncle Morgan P. Donahue.
Daniel J. Carton, George C. Burns, Bernard J. Lenahan, Michael Duffy, and John J. Sack.
William E. Hennessy, Edward W. Marpool, Joseph L. Panowski, Charles R. Conlon, Timothy O'Connor, John J. Mullen, Martin J. Collins, Patrick J. O'Neill, Joseph Kurtz, and Thomas W. Burke.
Thomas J. Egan, Paul E. Schutz, James Harrington, Charles Paldina, Ernest H. Cassidy, Terrence Lyons, Thomas J. Clark, Robert Gibbons, Patrick H. Doherty, Benjamin F. Devlin.
Ralph S. Saunders, Thomas J. Kane, William J. O'Malley, Blanton W. Sutton, Vincent Sapiro, Lawrence C. Harnett, John J. McGonigal, Daniel J. Carey, Vincent Skipka, William F. Bunda, James A. Williams, Frank C. McGlynn, Harry Gaister.
Michael Murtaugh, Harry J. Crowley, Peter Melody, Edward J. Cleary, William A. Perrin, William Holmes, Thomas J. Babington, Raymond E. Walsh, Lawrence Sullivan, James Baggett, Edward E. Dean,
Charles B. Walsh, Harold F. Olson,
James A. Henry, Edward C. Finnegan, Edward F. Mashik, Eugene Holton, Frank J. Blazik, John L. Conley, Earl K. Leonard, John L. Sweeney, Frank A. Sedlock, my children's great-great-uncle Michael A. Madigan, my great-grandfather's partner William Gallagher, and my great-grandfather Jesse D. Holtz, end of watch September 26, 1929.
Patrick J. Daly, Robert L. Johnston, Theodore J. Anderson, John J. Burns, Walter J. Riley, Floyd Beardsley, Julian A. Bonfield, Edwin Halloran, David J. Cairns, and James A. Bender.
Leo Grant, James Cooley, James Kakachek, Casimir Weissert, James C. Farley, Thomas W. Kehoe, Thomas J. Healy, Patrick F. Delaney, Thomas Lynch, Vincent Gillespie, Peter Peterson, and Edward T. Murphy.
Eugene J. Keegan, Edward J. McGuire, Walter E. Lilly, John Chiska, Jesse Sneed, Emil Sjogren, Arthur F. Esau, William A. O'Connor, Jeremiah E. O'Connell, Thomas McNamara, Luke Howe, Leonard T. Jagla, James J. O'Brien, James R. Mescal.
Michael Lynch, Henry J. Lang, John Keel, Arthur Volmar, Edward J. DeMay, Raymond E. Martin, Joseph J. Sullivan, Herbert N. Hagberg.
Fred Moloff, George F. Giovanni, Thomas F. Murtaugh, Michael T. Langen, Jerry E. Murphy, Louis C. Sedgwick, Harry S. Olson, John J. Ryan, John J. Galantini, George R. Neal, and Thomas Lascascio.
William I. McCann, Gilbert Wilson, William P. Rumbler, Peter Connolly, Joseph M. Fitzpatrick, Michael J. Tuhig, Hubert J. Dillon, James S. Corcoran, Raymond Kavanaugh, John Vandruska Jr., Hugh Kennedy, Patrick J. Costello.
Harry W. Fielder, Patrick J. Gallagher, Anthony L. Ruthie, Patrick Durkin, Michael F. McGinnis, Edward F. Smith, John Cronin, Edward M. O'Donnell, Thomas J. Johnson, James J. Casey, and my grandfather, Joseph V. Isaacs, end of watch, October 10th, 1931.
Michael W. O'Brien, James J. Kaplis, Arthur R. Whitbrot, Martin Knudsen, George T. Barker, Raymond C. Kelly, Robert H. Granger, William G. Gagler, Frank J. Cunningham, Richard J. Kehoe, Patrick Madden, and William D. Lundy.
Maurice Markinson, Roscoe C. Johnston, Arthur D. Mutter,
Stanley J. Lutke, Oscar Brosseau, Harry J. Redlich, Elmer R. Ostling, John J. Skopik, John G. Sevick, Patrick J. Ryan, Joseph Hastings, and Willard E. Ford.
Miles Cunningham, William T. Shanley, Thomas J. Murphy, John R. Officer, Victor H. Sugg, Patrick J. Redmond, Stanley L. Boboski, and William F. Penny.
Anton Zapolsky, James F. Day, Louis F. First, Thomas E. Torpy, Alfred M. Stoke, Joseph Pelzinski, Edward Capard, and my grandfather, Thomas Kelmer.
William H. Stringfellow, Joseph Klochek, Joseph Isola, Arthur M. Swanson, Jerome J. McCauley, John J. Freikel, Charles W. Steen, Patrick D. Beckham.
Frederick Fisher, Michael Toth, Arthur J. Sullivan, Sidney T. Sullivan, Bernard Klinke, Edward R. Healy, Martin Wolski, Andrew Walsh.
John A. Olson, Edward J. Lynn, Leon Chaika, Philip J. Kelly, Emmett D. Laughlin, Harry Francois, Frank L. Miller.
Charles J. Speaker, William M. Buck, Charles H. Williams, Philip T. Romano, Frank J. McGraw, Walter J. Storm, and John J. O'Donnell.
James G. Carl, Elwood S. Egan Sr., Ezra Caldwell, Samuel M. Black, Eugene L. Reed, Morris Friedman, George H. Hellstrom, and my father, Charles A. Brady, end of watch, September 3rd, 1945.
Spencer Thornton Jr., Roy W. Costello, Richard E. Peag, Lubay Zekard, Robert E. Oman, Edwin C. Rock, Roderick D. McClay, William E. Goles, and my grandfather, Donald Shadroff, end of watch, January 20th, 1947, 78 years ago.
Louis A. Abbott, George T. Freeman, Dewey L. Littleton, David F. Keating, Charles Hibbish, Thomas J. Carroll, Thomas J. Costello, William B. Murphy, Donald E. McCormick, Edward T. Crowley, George J. Spirakos, and Martin Moylan Sr.
Oreste Gonzalez, Jeremiah C. Lucy, Roman C. Steinke, Edward H. Breen, Richard Rauschhorn, Charles P. Honorino,
Albert H. Brown, William J. Murphy, Lyons Kelleher, John J. Blythe, William J. Luce.
Osborne Sims, James E. Mitchell, Raymond C. Johnson, Michael E. Luchewski, Bernie Powell, Barney Halperin, John W. Quirk, and our family's friend Robert R. Golden.
Zolly Rieger, Roy A. Carney, Joseph Borsia, Mitchell A. Stone, Dennis J. Laughlin, Leonard F. Baldy.
Robert J. Strugala, Otha Lamans, Thomas J. Glynn, Carl G. Meister, Daniel E. Howard, Donald E. Andrews, Jesse J. Brown, Joseph F. Tiggins, Frank M. Bastone, Joseph E. Chapman Jr., Melvin L. Gossmeyer, William A. Flowers, William A. Johnson, LaVon White, and my beloved father, James O. Sexton. End of watch, July 25th, 1962.
George W. Thompson, James H. Carroll, Samuel P. Hall, and my grandfather, Nicholas Michael Connolly.
Paul A. Batson, John P. Jasper, Charles E. Eichhorst, Ralph C. Dunn, Claude M. Fisher, Daniel J. Quinnen, William Y. Bell, Gerald E. Dahl, Herman Stallworth, Charles W. Pollard, John S. Collins, Young C. Hobson, and Henry L. Peeler.
John R. Tucker, Clayton Robinson, Joseph F. Ferguson, James R. Schaefer, Jerome A. Stubig, Irwin Jackson, John Stoshnick.
Leroy N. Barry Jr., Samuel G. Lynch, Frank G. Rappaport, John J. Gilhooly, Oliver J. Singleton, and John T. Lynch.
James E. O'Connor, Thomas J. Kelly, Casey Tristano, Melvin Brown, Kenneth G. Kaner, Anthony N. Rosado, and Anthony's partner and my uncle, James L. Severin. End of watch, July 17th, 1970.
James A. Alfano Jr., John J. Matinich, Paul G. Thomas Jr., Edgar J. Bronson, Richard Gilmore, Melvin A. Galloway Jr., Sidney Sam Jr., Melvin Cohen, William H. Johnson.
Erwin F. Hayden, Robert L. Gallowich, James R. Scannell, Edward M. Madden, Edward V. O'Neill, Edgar DeShure, Robert Wenzel, Michael F. McGuire, Wendell H. Hicks.
Louis Collada, Thomas J. Adams, Edward L. Barron, James W. Campbell, Bruce N. Garrison, William C. Marsick, Thomas A. Wadarsik, and my husband, William S. Bodner Jr. End of watch, April 8, 1974.
Terrence E. Loftus, Michael R. Pelise, Patrick J. McGann Jr., James Commodores, Thomas R. Grzorski, James M. O'Connell, Anthony Janowski, James Sweeney, Patrick O'Malley, Martin C. McCaw, William A. Fuller, Charles C. Cox, Anthony Canatas, Dennis F. Collins, Joseph P. Colley. In the 20th year of me reading my friend Patrick J. Crowley, whose end of watch was September 13, 1976, during a drug raid, but whose death led to the importance of bulletproof vests for Chicago police officers.
James Days, Roger Van Schack, William P. Bosick, Nicholas J. McNamara, Jose M. Torres, Richard F. Gibson, Robert Marusek, and my father, James J. Reardon, end of watch, 6 June 1981.
Edgar A. Clay Jr., John F. Lynch, Martin E. Darcy Jr., Hamp T. McMichael Jr., and my neighbors and former schoolmates, James E. Doyle, Richard J. O'Brien, and his partner William P. Fahey.
John J. Collins, Curtis R. Baker, Wayne G. King, Richard W. Clark, George T. Brea, Richard Davenport Jr., J. F. Brancella, William M. Morrison Jr., Gregory R. Edwards, and my baby brother, Martin P. Clark, end of watch, 26 August, 84.
Arthur Jackson, Lee R. Seward, Helen P. Cardwell, John W. Matthews, Irma C. Ruiz, Bruce R. Niederborski, Elijah Harris, Gregory A. Hauser.
Raymond C. Kilroy, Johnny L. Martin, Eddie N. Jones Jr., Cornelius A. Rourke Jr., Robert H. Perkins, Harry A. Bellumini, John J. Lyons, Gerald L. Wright, Daniel J. Dolphin.
Larry Vincent, Wayne J. Calza, Anthony L. Creed, Fred Eccles Jr., and my beautiful beloved sister, Darrell C. Brandon, end of watch, January 25th, 1984.
James M. O'Connor, Del O. Fountain, Gary M. Gradle, David C. Evans, Gregory I. Young, Frank T. Balzano, Richard R. Schott, and my family's beloved friend Michael A. Seriali, end of watch, August 21st, 1998. Forever in our hearts.
Harry J. Bussey, Dennis Wilson, William A. Roberts, William R. King, Frank J. McGurk, James A. Mulcahy.
James H. Kemp, Miles Santana, my friend and Academy classmate, John C. Knight, my friend and E.T., Michael R. Flisk.
Elaine Sofrigan, my dear friend's brother, Brian T. Strauss, and my beloved husband, Thor Soderberg.
Patrick J. McGovern, William A. Ellison, Hector Silva, my inspiration, my hero, Donald J. Marquez. End of watch 3/19/02.
Harry J. Gray, Frederick M. Schmitz, Edward J. Mulvihill, Eric D. Lee, Edward L. Simonek Sr., and my nephew, Michael P. Gordon. End of watch, August 8th, 2004.
Edward L. Jackson, Philip J. O'Reilly, Roberto Jackson, and my brother, Benjamin Perez.
Eric Solorio, Richard M. Francis, Alan J. Haymaker, and Clifton Lewis.
Michael A. Robbins, Nathaniel Taylor, Joseph Earhart Jr., Alejandro Valadez, and my brother, Thomas Eugene Wortham IV.
Cornelius Broderick, David Boitano, and Michael R. Bailey.
Terrence J. Knox, Paul W. Naughton, Bernard Damagala, Andre Van Vechten, and my husband, Paul R. Bauer. End of watch, February 13th, 2018.
My dad, Samuel Jimenez. End of watch, November 19th, 2018.
My papa, Eduardo Román Alejo. End of watch, December 17th, 2018.
And Officer Conrad Gary.
My brother, Marco DeFranco.
My father, Clifford W. Martin Sr., end of watch, April 10th, 2020.
Ronald Newman and my dad, Todd C. Gillerlane.
My brother, Titus T. Moore.
My partner,
My beloved baby girl, Ella French, end of watch, 7 August 2021.
My papa, James R. Speck Jr.
Detective Joseph Tripoli.
And my amazing father, Joey Huerta. End of watch, December 23rd, 2021.
My brother in blue, Andres Mauricio Vázquez Lazo.
Our sister, Ariana Michaela Preston. End of watch, May 5th, 2023.
My baby brother and best friend,
Luis Huesca.
My lovely son, Police Officer Luis M. Huesca, star 18913, and on watch April 21, 2024.
On behalf of his loving family and his sister, James B. Crowley, end of watch, August 22nd, 2024.
my brother,
My son, Enrique Martinez.
I am the mother.
The daughter.
I'm the sister.
Sister.
I'm the daughter.
Of Crystal Rivera.
End of watch, June 5th, 2025.
Gavin Coyle will now perform a song he wrote for the memorial entitled Etched in Stone.
In times of need and times of danger, fears arise and troubles flow. Turn to the rock to serve and protect us. We look for the light that through the darkness glows. The comrades and brothers through the years, the courage tested, their honor shown. Their sacrifice can be forgotten, but their spirit lives and it has grown. Etched in stone for all to remember, gave your lives preserving our peace. Deep in my heart you'll live forever, etched by the love you gave to me. We stand today, we are united, the unbroken line that will not yield, passed down through time with those remembered. We are the rock, we are the shield, etched in stone for all to remember. Gave your lives preserving our peace. Deep in my heart you'll live forever, etched by the love you gave to me. Comrades and friends, sisters and brothers, husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, they are gone but not forgotten, part of all of us today. Etched in stone for all to remember, gave your lives preserving our peace. Deep in my heart you'll live forever, etched by the love you gave to me. Etched by the love you gave to me.
Thank you so much, Gavin. I will now ask Rabbi Moshe Wolf to join us again with some closing remarks, and for those who are able and comfortable, please stand.
As we close, to the Gold Star families, we say, the memory of your loved ones will forever etched in our hearts. And to everybody else, we want to say thank you for being here this evening. Your presence means more than you know. So before we close, on behalf of the Gold Star families, can you reach out to the person next to you, give them a pat on the back, because that's what each and every one of you deserve for being here this evening. Let us pray. Dear God, as we close this memorial ceremony, we pray in words of our tradition. May God bless you and keep you. May shine his countenance upon you, be gracious to you. May he bless you with peace and always keep you in his loving care. And again, we are mindful of our brothers and sisters that are presently working the streets and those overseas fighting for our freedom. Please, Lord, bring them home safely to their loved ones at the end of their tour of duty. And let us say, amen.
All right, please be seated. I know I said conclude, but we're a little more. Just bear with me. We're going to play Amazing Grace, followed by a 21 gun salute, and then I will join you one more time for a few closing remarks.